Okay, today's Showme lesson is Chapter 2, Lesson 2, and it is about translating between words and math. So all we're going to do is look at the different ways the questions are asked and what they mean. We're going to split things up into addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We're going to talk about the different ways that you can say each of those things. And then we'll give a couple examples of word problems, and that's what we're doing today. So, we're going to start out with addition. So, we're starting out with addition, and we call that adding. And the point of adding is what? What's the point of adding? It is to put something together or to combine. Then the second thing is subtraction. And to subtract means we're going to find how much more or how much less. And then multiplication, and these are the two that you need to pay the most attention to because these are the two that sometimes we flip-flop when we're in word problems and we decide to do the opposite. So multiplication is to put together groups of equal parts. So if multiplication is to put together groups of equal parts, then that means division would be to separate into equal groups. This is in your math book, and you can go back and also rewind this video and check, because this is what we're going to come back to when we actually go and we do an example problem, is we're going to come back to this and figure out which one of those we actually want to do so we know what we're going to do in our problem. So, the next thing that I want to do is for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, I want to talk about some different ways that we say that. So in addition, let's take the sample problem of 5 plus 10. What are the different ways we say that? We could say 5 added to 10. We could say 5 plus 10. We could say the sum of 5 and 10. Or we could say 5 more than 10. Those are all different ways that you can look at it. This is in your math book on page 59, if you would like to look at that now or tomorrow. So those are some different ways that we can say addition. We say added to, plus, the sum of, or more than. Those are just some ways that it says to do addition. Now let's look at subtraction. And let's look at the sample problem 10 minus 5. So one way we could say is 10 subtracted from, that would actually be 5 subtracted from 10. Another way we could say is just 10 minus 5. We could say the difference of 10 and 5, or take away 5 from 10. Those are all different ways that we could say 10 minus 5. They all mean the same thing. Now let's go to multiplication. We'll keep using the same numbers. Let's use 10 and 5 again. So 10 times 5 is the problem. One way we can just say that is 10 times 5. Another one is multiplied by 5. Another way is the product of 10 and 5. And the last way would be 10 groups of 5. So let's go to division. We use the same numbers. 10 divided by 5 is the problem. That's division. So we can say just 10 divided by 5, or we could say the quotient of 10 and 5. So that's a different way we can say division. So the reason you need to know all those different things is because in your homework it's going to give you a problem like this. It's going to say, write that out 2 different ways. And the way you would do that is you could say 11 plus 6, or you could say the sum of 11 and 6, or you could say 11 more than 6, or you could say 11 added to 6. Those are other ways. So I want you to do this one. I want you to try writing 2 different ways that you can write this next problem. 46 minus 5. Pause and practice. Okay, so one way you could say 46 subtracted, or I'm sorry, 5 subtracted from 46. Be careful that you have that the right way, because you're not doing 46 subtracted from 5, you're doing 5 subtracted from 46. Another thing you could do is say 46 minus 5, the difference of 46 and 5, 5 less than 46, or take away 5 from 46. Those are all different ways you can do that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a story problem that's going to test that. So if I asked the question, if I said, Mr. K is 72 inches tall, Matt is 68 inches tall, how much taller is Mr. Knight? So we need to think about how would we solve that. Now, if you rewind the video, you could look at those, or you could look at page 58, and you can look at it. Remember, addition is to put together or combine. Are we combining their heights? No, we are not. So it can't be addition. How about the next one? Subtraction is to find out how much more or less. Are we trying to find how much more or less? We are. We're trying to find how much taller Mr. Knight is. And if you look at multiplication and division, to put together groups of equal parts, well, those aren't groups of equal parts. And we're not separating them into groups either. So we know that we have to subtract. So then what we do is 72 minus 68, and we would find out that Mr. Knight is 4 inches taller. Now the second problem I want you to do right along with me. Okay, for example, if you have 50 cookies and you have 10, and you're going to divide them into 10 bags, how many cookies in each bag? Okay, I want you to look and think about what kind of problem that's going to be. You can rewind if you need a reminder. Pause and solve. So, is it a put together or combined problem, which would be plus? No, it is not. Is it a find out how much more or how much less problem? It is not. Is it putting together groups? We're not putting together, we're saying how many each. So we're not putting it together, so it's not multiply. We're separating it into equal groups. We're separating 50 cookies into 10 groups. So it's 50 divided by 10, and that would be 5 cookies in each bag. That's all there is for today's lesson, guys. There'll be a lot more coming up. So you need to have this answer with you tomorrow, and we'll go over more stuff. Have a nice evening.